What is Bitcoin? Digital gold. In the last few videos, we saw something a little unsettling. Most money is basically debt. It gets created with a keystroke, and there's no hard limit. If more is needed, more can be made. So back in 2008, an anonymous someone asked a strange question. What if money had a limit that nobody, no bank, no government, no one could ever change? That question became Bitcoin, and the whole thing hinges on one number, 21 million. Rewind to 2008. The financial system is melting down. Big banks are failing, governments are bailing them out, and a lot of people are realizing their money depends entirely on trusting those institutions to get it right. In the middle of that, a person or group using the name Satoshi Nakamoto publishes a 9-page paper. The pitch? A way to send money directly from one person to another over the internet with no bank in the middle. A few months later, in January 2009, the network goes live, and the very first entry ever recorded on it carries a quiet little message, a reference to a newspaper headline about banks getting bailed out. Part timestamp, part mission statement. Remember the last episode? Bitcoin runs on a blockchain, that shared ledger nobody owns and nobody can secretly edit. Bitcoin was the very first thing ever built on one.
Here's what makes Bitcoin different from the dollars in your account. Dollars can be created without a fixed ceiling. Bitcoin can't. Written into its code is a hard rule. There will only ever be 21 million coins, not 21 million and one. That's it, forever. So how do new coins get made? When someone adds a new block to that shared ledger, the system pays them a reward in brand new Bitcoin. Exactly who does this and why it eats so much electricity, that's all of next episode. The catch, that reward gets cut in half roughly every 4 years, an event the community literally calls the halving.
It started at 50 new Bitcoin per block, then 25, then 12.5, then 6.25, and after the most recent halving in 2024, it's 3.125 per block today, about 450 new coins a day, and shrinking on schedule. Keep halving, and the math runs out somewhere around the year 2140. That's when the last sliver of a Bitcoin gets mined, and the supply is frozen forever. As of filming, roughly 20 million of the 21 already exist. We're about 95% of the way there. Notice what this copies. You can't print gold. You have to dig it up, and each new ounce gets harder to find. Bitcoin took that idea, scarcity that tightens over time, and wrote it into software. Hence the nickname, digital gold. And here's the part most people miss. That 21 million cap isn't a feature someone can quietly update later if it gets inconvenient. It is the product. Change the limit, and it's not Bitcoin anymore. It's just another coin people stop trusting. The scarcity isn't a detail. It's the entire point.
So why do people treat Bitcoin like a store of value instead of just spending money? 4 reasons. It's scarce, that fixed cap. It's durable. It's just data living on thousands of copies of a ledger, so it can't rot or burn. It's portable. You can send any amount anywhere on Earth in minutes without asking permission. And no government can inflate it away or shut the network off. Put those together, and some people see digital gold, a place to park value outside the traditional system, a hedge against endless money printing. And it's caught on. Bitcoin is the largest cryptocurrency by far, worth somewhere around $1.3 trillion as of filming, with everything from investment funds to a few public companies now holding it.
Now, digital gold is the bull case. We promised you no hype, so here's the other side, and it matters. 1, it's volatile. Real gold doesn't usually swing 10% in a day. Bitcoin does. As of filming, it's around $60,000, but it was up near $108,000 in late 2025 and has fallen hard since, recently hitting a 21-month low. A store of value that can lose a third of its value in a few months is a bumpy one. 2,
As everyday money, it's slow and limited. The base network handles only a handful of transactions per second, and a new block lands about every 10 minutes. You're not buying your morning coffee with it at scale, at least not directly. There are fixes being built, Lightning, Layer 2s, but that's a later episode.
3. Energy. Securing this network takes real electricity, very roughly 130 to 175 terawatt hours a year, depending on who's counting. That's in the ballpark of a country like Poland. Defenders point out it's about 0.5% of the world's electricity, that more than half now comes from renewables, and that gold mining and the banking system use a comparable amount or more. Critics say it's still an enormous amount of power for one network. Honestly, both of those can be true, and next episode will show you exactly what all that electricity is buying. So, is Bitcoin actually digital gold, a speculative gamble, or some of both? That's genuinely debated by smart people. Our job isn't to settle it for you, it's to make sure you understand the machine well enough to think for yourself.
Quick recap. Bitcoin was the first thing ever built on a blockchain. Money designed to need no bank. Its supply is capped at a hard 21 million, with new coins released on a shrinking schedule through the halving. Some treat it as digital gold. Others point to real downsides: volatile, slow, power-hungry. But the one idea to walk away with is this: the scarcity isn't a feature of Bitcoin. It's the whole point of it. All episode, we kept saying someone adds a block and gets paid, and the network secures itself. But who actually does that? And why on earth does it burn the electricity of a small country? Next time, mining versus staking. How a network with no boss, no headquarters, and no one in charge can still agree on what's true, using nothing but math and electricity. Or in Ethereum's case, money on the line. It's the piece that makes everything else work. If this made Bitcoin click, subscribe and jump straight to the next one in the Crypto Decoded playlist. I'll see you there. This is for education and commentary only, not financial advice. Nothing here is a recommendation to buy or sell anything. Crypto is risky and prices move fast. Always do your own research before risking a single dollar. I'll see you in the next one.